What if everything you knew about competition was about to be shattered? Imagine standing in a massive arena surrounded by 1,999 strangers, every single one of them hungry, desperate, and willing to push past their limits for a life-changing prize. $5 million. One winner. No safety net, no second chances. In this game, hesitation is elimination, trust is a gamble, and survival depends on how fast you adapt. Welcome to Beast Games, where only the strongest minds and bodies survive, and where, all or nothing, isn't just a channel name, it's the reality every competitor faces from the very first second. The moment the gates open, chaos turns into strategy. 2,000 contestants from different backgrounds, different countries, and different levels of preparation step forward knowing one brutal truth: more than half of them will not make it past the early rounds. There's no warm-up, no easing into the competition. From the start, the challenges are designed to expose weaknesses, fear, ego, poor teamwork, and mental fatigue. Some competitors arrive confident, convinced that strength alone will carry them. Others rely on intelligence, patience, or social skills. But Beast Games has a way of punishing anyone who underestimates how unpredictable the journey will be. The first phase is not about winning, it's about surviving. Contestants are quickly divided into teams, often with complete strangers. There's no time to build trust organically, yet every decision depends on cooperation. One wrong call by a single teammate can cost dozens of people their shot at $5 million. Pressure builds fast, and under that pressure, true personalities surface. Leaders emerge, manipulators reveal themselves, and quiet observers begin calculating moves several steps ahead. This is where the mental game truly begins. Early challenges test endurance and problem solving at the same time. Physical strength matters, but not in the way most expect. It's not about who lifts the most weight or runs the fastest, it's about who can keep going when exhaustion sets in. Long hours, limited rest, and constant evaluation wear people down. Contestants start questioning themselves. Some freeze when things go wrong. Others panic when plans collapse. And then there are those rare individuals who stay calm, adapt instantly, and turn setbacks into advantages. Beast Games rewards those who think clearly when everything feels out of control. As eliminations begin, the atmosphere shifts. The number 2000 suddenly feels very real, because names start disappearing fast. Friends made just hours earlier are gone. Teams that felt solid begin to crack under pressure. Every elimination sends a message: no one is safe. This psychological weight is intentional. The game isn't just testing what contestants can do, it's testing how they react when hope starts slipping away. Some competitors become more aggressive, pushing harder and taking bigger risks. Others withdraw, trying to stay invisible. Both strategies can work, but only for a while. What makes Beast Games different is how it forces contestants to constantly reassess their priorities. Do you play fair, or do you play smart? Do you trust your team, or do you quietly prepare for the moment when betrayal becomes necessary? Alliances form quickly, but they're fragile. Everyone knows that only 1,100 contestants will move forward. That number hangs in the air like a ticking clock. Every challenge, every decision, every conversation is influenced by one simple question: will this help me advance, or will it put a target on my back? As the first stage progresses, fatigue becomes the great equalizer. Even the strongest competitors begin to struggle. Small mistakes turn into major setbacks. A single miscalculation can undo hours of effort. This is where experience, discipline, and emotional control separate contenders from casualties. Some contestants rise to the occasion, surprising even themselves. Others collapse under the weight of expectations they can't live up to. Beast Games doesn't care about your past achievements, only what you can deliver right now. By the end of the early rounds, the field has been dramatically reduced. The remaining contestants look around and realize something chilling: the easy eliminations are over. Everyone left has proven they belong here. The competition is no longer about filtering out the weak, it's about breaking the strong. Only 1,100 will earn the right to move forward, and even that is just the beginning of a much harsher journey. The prize feels closer, but the cost of reaching it is becoming painfully clear. And this is where the real game begins. As the competition narrows to 1,100 contestants, the tone inside Beast Games changes completely. The nervous excitement of the opening phase is gone, replaced by something heavier and far more dangerous: confidence mixed with fear. Everyone left knows they've already beaten hundreds of others, but that victory comes with a new burden. From this point forward, every competitor is capable, every team is sharp, and every mistake carries a higher price. The game stops forgiving errors and starts exploiting them. The next stage wastes no time raising the stakes. Challenges become more complex, blending physical endurance with rapid decision-making. Contestants are pushed into situations where brute strength alone is useless without coordination and foresight. Teams must move as a unit, often under time pressure, knowing that hesitation could cost them not just the challenge, but their entire future in the game. The margin for error shrinks, and tension rises with every passing minute. What's most unsettling is how trust begins to erode. Early on, teamwork felt necessary. Now, it feels dangerous. Contestants start questioning motives. Is that teammate really trying to help, or are they positioning themselves for later rounds? Conversations become strategic rather than friendly. Every word is weighed, every promise evaluated. Alliances still exist, but they're quieter, more calculated, and often temporary. In Beast Games, loyalty has an expiration date. Mental endurance becomes just as critical as physical strength. Long hours, constant surveillance, and unpredictable twists push contestants toward emotional exhaustion. Some competitors struggle to stay focused. Others begin overthinking every scenario, seeing threats where none exist. The game thrives in this environment, rewarding those who can stay mentally grounded while everyone else spirals. This is where champions are shaped, not in moments of glory, but in moments of doubt. Midway through this stage, the challenges take a darker turn. They're no longer just about completing tasks, they're about making choices that affect others. Teams are forced to decide who moves forward and who doesn't. These decisions leave scars. Contestants are confronted with the reality that advancing might mean ending someone else's dream. Some hesitate, paralyzed by guilt. Others accept the cruelty of the game and move forward without looking back. Beast Games doesn't judge morality, it measures results. As eliminations continue, the psychological toll becomes visible. Sleep-deprived faces, strained tempers, and silent breakdowns become common. Even those who appear strong on the outside are fighting battles no one else can see. The pressure to perform never fades, because every challenge could be the last. The prize money looms larger now, not as a dream, but as a justification. $5 million begins to feel worth almost anything. At this point, adaptability separates survivors from the eliminated. Contestants who cling to a single strategy start falling behind. The game evolves constantly, and those who fail to evolve with it are left exposed. Flexibility becomes a weapon. Some competitors reinvent themselves completely, shifting from leadership roles to silent strategists, or from followers to decision makers. Those transformations often determine who stays and who goes. The remaining players begin to realize a hard truth. Beast Games isn't about being the best overall, it's about being the best in the moment. A competitor can dominate one challenge and be eliminated in the next. There's no momentum, no guarantees. This unpredictability keeps everyone on edge, forcing them to treat every task as if it's the final one. Confidence must exist without arrogance, and caution without fear. It's a delicate balance few can maintain. As the numbers continue to drop, rivalries intensify. Some contestants start recognizing familiar faces as recurring threats. Quiet competitors who once went unnoticed suddenly emerge as dominant forces. This unpredictability disrupts plans and forces constant reassessment. The strongest players aren't always the loudest or most aggressive, they're often the ones who observe, wait, and strike at precisely the right moment. By the end of this phase, exhaustion is universal. Yet despite the fatigue, the fire hasn't gone out. If anything, it burns hotter. The remaining contestants know they're closer than ever, but they also understand that the hardest challenges are still ahead. Beast Games has stripped away comfort, certainty, and hesitation. What's left are competitors defined by resilience, adaptability, and an unrelenting will to move forward. And as the next stage approaches, one question dominates every mind: how much more will this game demand before it decides who truly deserves to win? By the time the next stage begins, the competition no longer feels like a game. It feels like a test of identity. The remaining contestants have been pushed far beyond their comfort zones, and now they're operating on instinct as much as strategy. Every face tells a story of endurance, sacrifice, and quiet desperation. The realization hits hard: getting this far doesn't guarantee anything. In Beast Games, progress only means the challenges ahead will be smarter, harsher, and more unforgiving. This phase introduces a brutal shift in design. Challenges are no longer straightforward. They're layered, deceptive, and designed to mislead. Contestants are given incomplete information, forcing them to make decisions based on intuition and trust, two resources already worn thin. Some challenges reward collaboration, while others punish it, and the rules aren't always clear until it's too late. Those who assume consistency quickly learn that Beast Games thrives on unpredictability. Pressure fractures even the strongest alliances. Teammates who once relied on each other begin questioning loyalty when individual advancement becomes the priority. Subtle betrayals start appearing: delayed help, incomplete communication, strategic silence. These moves aren't always malicious, sometimes they're defensive. In a game where survival depends on staying one step ahead, self-preservation becomes instinctive. The line between strategy and betrayal blurs, and contestants are forced to live with the consequences of their choices. Mental fatigue reaches a critical point. The constant need to analyze, adapt, and perform drains even the most disciplined minds. Some competitors begin making uncharacteristic mistakes. Others overcorrect, second-guessing every decision until momentum is lost. Beast Games doesn't reward perfection, it rewards recovery. Those who can absorb failure, adjust instantly, and keep moving forward are the ones who stay alive in the competition. Midway through this stage, the challenges become deeply personal. Contestants are forced to confront weaknesses they've been hiding: fear of failure, fear of isolation, fear of being outsmarted. These moments aren't about strength, they're about honesty. Some rise by acknowledging their limits and working around them. Others collapse when forced to face realities they've avoided their entire lives. The game exposes not just physical limits, but emotional ones. As eliminations accelerate, the environment grows quieter. The noise, the chaos, the early excitement, all of it fades. What remains is focus. Conversations are shorter. Movements are deliberate. Every competitor understands that visibility can be dangerous. Standing out can make you a target, but disappearing can make you forgettable. The balance between influence and anonymity becomes one of the most difficult challenges of all. The prize money now feels almost secondary to survival itself. $5 million is still the goal, but the path toward it demands something deeper. Pride is tested. Morals are questioned. Contestants begin asking themselves not just how badly they want to win, but what they're willing to become in the process. Beast Games forces people to confront that question repeatedly, with no easy answers. As the field narrows further, unexpected leaders emerge. Competitors who stayed quiet in earlier rounds suddenly step forward with clarity and control. Others who once dominated begin fading, unable to maintain momentum under sustained pressure. The game remains indifferent to reputation. Past performance offers no protection. Every challenge resets the board, and only present decisions matter. Toward the end of this stage, the remaining contestants can sense the shift coming. The air is heavy with anticipation. Everyone knows they're approaching the point where the game stops testing endurance and starts demanding excellence. There will be no room left for luck. No space for hesitation. Only those who can execute flawlessly under extreme pressure will move forward. As the final eliminations of this stage take place, relief and dread coexist. Advancing feels like a victory, but it also means agreeing to face the most punishing phase yet. The contestants who remain understand one undeniable truth: Beast Games has been preparing them for this moment all along. And now, with everything stripped away except determination, the competition enters its most ruthless chapter. At this point, Beast Games reaches its most unforgiving phase. The remaining contestants are no longer guessing what the competition demands from them, they know. Their bodies are worn, their minds stretched thin, yet their focus has never been sharper. Every movement, every glance, every decision is intentional. This is where excuses disappear. No one here can claim bad luck or unfair treatment. Everyone left has earned their place, and that knowledge makes the pressure even heavier. The final challenges are designed to strip away comfort entirely. There is no room for recovery anymore. Mistakes don't slow you down, they end you. Contestants are pushed into scenarios that test not just strength or intelligence, but composure under absolute pressure. Time feels faster. Silence feels louder. Even confidence becomes dangerous if it turns into complacency. Those who survive are not the ones who feel fearless, but the ones who act despite fear. What stands out most in this stage is how differently people respond to the same stress. Some competitors become hyper-focused, blocking out everything except the task in front of them. Others struggle, overwhelmed by the magnitude of how close they are to the finish line. The thought of $5 million isn't motivating for everyone anymore. For some, it becomes terrifying. The closer the prize gets, the more painful the idea of losing becomes. Trust is nearly gone now. Alliances that once provided security have either dissolved or transformed into quiet understandings. Everyone knows that in the end, there will be only one winner. Cooperation still exists, but it's fragile and conditional. Every interaction feels like a negotiation. Contestants weigh every word carefully, knowing that information can be just as valuable as strength. As eliminations continue, the emotional weight becomes impossible to ignore. Watching someone fall short at this stage hits harder than before. These are not weak players being filtered out, these are strong competitors being broken by razor-thin margins. A few seconds too slow. A single wrong choice. A moment of hesitation. That's all it takes. Beast Games proves again and again that excellence isn't enough, it has to be delivered at exactly the right moment. The finalists begin to feel isolated, even when surrounded by others. The journey has become deeply personal. Each competitor carries the memory of everyone they've seen eliminated along the way. That history fuels them, but it also haunts them. Sleep is shallow. Thoughts race. Yet when the challenge begins, something remarkable happens. Instinct takes over. Training, experience, and resilience merge into action. This is what the competition has been building toward from the very beginning. As the final moments approach, the atmosphere is electric. Every contestant understands the stakes completely. $5 million is no longer just a prize, it represents validation, sacrifice, and survival. It represents every moment of doubt they pushed through and every limit they refused to accept. Beast Games has taken everything from them except their will to keep going. When the final outcome is decided, the victory feels almost unreal. There is no explosion of emotion at first, just silence. Relief. Disbelief. The weight finally lifts, and the journey comes into focus. Winning Beast Games isn't just about being the last one standing, it's about enduring an experience that permanently changes how you see competition, pressure, and yourself. And for those who didn't win, the ending is still powerful. They leave knowing they faced something extraordinary and didn't quit. Beast Games doesn't just crown a champion, it exposes character. It reveals who adapts, who collapses, and who rises when there's nothing left to rely on but determination. That's why this story resonates far beyond the arena. Because in many ways, Beast Games reflects life itself. You start surrounded by others chasing the same goals. The path narrows, pressure increases, people drop out, doubt creeps in, and eventually, you're left facing your limits, forced to decide whether you'll stop or push forward. Here at All or Nothing, we tell these stories because they remind us of one simple truth: when the stakes are high and the odds are against you, effort alone isn't enough. You need resilience, you need clarity, and you need the courage to keep going when quitting feels easier. If you made it to the end of this video, you already understand that mindset. So if you want more stories about extreme competition, high-pressure decisions, and the moments that define winners, make sure you subscribe to All or Nothing, drop a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because in the end, there are no half measures. It's all or nothing.